Well, it's just the problem with like the problem with democracy in general, and the problem with liberalism in particular, is well, I'm going to do one of my favorite things and offer a quote here, which is that it would not have mattered if every Athenian citizen was Socrates. Every meeting of the Athenian people would still have been a mob. That's just the nature of the beast. You get enough people together who all have some amount of power, have some amount of authority because they live in a democracy, and you put them all in one space together, and you try and you basically ask them all, "What's your opinion on blah?" Well, all of them are going to have an opinion, and no one's opinion is going to be exactly the same. And they're all gonna want to talk, and they're all going to want to explain why their opinion's the best opinion. And eventually, nobody's actually hearing each other's arguments. They're not reasoning this out because there's not just two people talking. There's 1,000 people talking. It becomes well, I mean, the closest thing I can think of is it becomes a Twitter thread or a Fediverse thread, where
So
it's like a dozen people jump into it and they just start pulling the thing in all these directions, and everyone's attention's diverted, and nobody can actually address the core point anymore. When it comes to we're just talking political theory here, because politics may be fake and gay, and theory may also be kind of fake and gay, but we can still talk about it in an abstract way for a bit. It's the problem is that this is a system that appeals to far more to emotion than to reason, which it's fine for a system to appeal to emotion because people are emotional creatures and they get emotionally invested in things.
I'll do.
But it appeals to.
I felt some
Go ahead.
emotions earlier today,
Yeah.
and then like I stopped and went inside a Dairy Queen bathroom and made it unusable for the next hour and a half.
Ugh.
And I was so much less emotional. Am I using the right word for that?
No.
Ah,
No, you are not. And yeah, and just the last point really there is that it it appeals far more to emotion than reason, and it's fine to do emotional appeals, but you can't just rely solely on those. And it also forces everyone to have an opinion, even if normally they couldn't give a shit.
see, that's something that I think that we kind of implicitly understand here. I think with the ideological things that people go through to become one of us or close to one of us is realize like you start to get this idea that honestly most people are kind of stupid and just need to be told what to do. And I don't actually think that's necessarily it. I think most people don't deserve to have the burden of politics foisted upon them.
Yeah, I mean, politics and statecraft is a dedicated field of knowledge like any other is. Like, why would you expect the average person to be able to be an expert on it?
Just for the love of God, someone spare us from politics. Filthy,
Because
disgusting politics.
Yeah, because the upside of that is, well, there's three upsides. One is that if I really like them, I have this heroic figure who can be like, who I can rally around and hold up as a model, and I could even have my theoretical kids and point to him and say, "You want to be like this guy. He's morally upright. He makes sound judgments. He's capable. He's effective, etc., etc." Um, on the neutral side, I could always, or on the bad side, it's like I know exactly who's to blame and I know who to hold responsible if things go bad. And then on the neutral side, it's like, well, if he does something that I've never thought about before in my life and an issue I have no opinion on, and someone asks me about it, I go, I don't gotta have an opinion on it. He's the one who makes decisions.
And that reminds me of something else. Somebody was asking me about some stuff going on and what I was going to do and what I was going to say. And I said, well, there's this amazing thing that you can do where you don't have to think about stuff. Like you don't have to comment and have an opinion on every little thing. It's like, welp, just don't care.
Yeah, I don't care is a valid option. Uh, in a related vein, I've been educating people on this fact. So, Roscoe, you've been in plenty of situations where someone has said to you, okay, X or Y, like gun to your head, which would you pick, right?
Yes, yes.
Just remember, everyone, the bullet is a valid choice. It's the secret third option. Like if the choice is just horrible no matter what, you could always just pick the bullet. This is purely a hypothetical situation, so why not?
Right? That's one of the things I'm getting really good at again is interacting with and appreciating the eternal normie. Because, a lot of us have had our social interactions cut down over the last year plus. And I'm finally, meeting new people. I've never talked to before going into people's homes to work. These are just kind and decent, like salt of the earth, working class people that shouldn't have to worry about like what a representative from New York is doing. Like they shouldn't have to like hear horror stories out of the state of California knowing that like those policies are looming ahead for them as well. It's not right, Walrus.
No, it's really not. But it's where we live now. And the question becomes, what are we going to do about it? And the answer at this point is we're going to have to prepare ourselves for the inevitable.
My supervisor kind of acknowledged the my situation and said, "I mean, what can you do, man?" And I said, "Well, it reminds me of my favorite Napoleon Bonaparte quote."
Mm,
And you know which one it is, right?
you don't reason with intellectuals?
No, 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 no. That would not be appropriate.
Okay.
The one you don't go or you go to war with the army you have, not the army you wish you had.
It's also a good one.
And like I come back to that so often in my life because I think it's important that we keep ourselves from getting caught in these mental traps of if I only had this, I could do this. If things were a little bit different here, things would be so much better. And it's like, yeah, well, they ain't. So fucking figure something out, my man.